Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, already Thursday. Kyle's still rocking off 3 hours of sleep from that baby life. But we're talking about Carvana still surprising everybody, TikTok in stores, and Coke letting consumers create their art and their ads.
Gotta hit that.
That's a second cup. Kyle's on that second cup of coffee already.
Let's go. Second. This is 3. Come on. Now they're light cups, but that's, it's
I'm
what
still,
I do.
I tell people, when they're about to have a baby, they're like, well, I'm like, well, look, there's a time when you go back to wishing your kids had like the baby problems. Like those are the reasons you're up at night, because they get progressively more complicated, right? At least I'm still in the place where all of my kids like sleep under my roof every night. When that's not the case, it's going to be a new experience. Straight up.
Oh, man, it's every year that experiences just adjust and change. I feel like parenting preps me more for business than like anything else in life. You're like, if I can handle that kid throwing a tantrum, that kid asking me a question about, Mars, and that kid dumping a bucket, I can handle anything. I'm ready to go
at the same time. Oh, man, we got a lot of fun stuff coming up. ASOTU Edge, our next webinar with our friends at Call Review. It's going to be driving customer loyalty through service. I think today we're releasing a really funny trailer if you want to see Kyle get frustrated at the beginning of a video. Yeah, watch us on LinkedIn. Follow ASOTU on LinkedIn. You're going to see this. It's going to be Wednesday, March 29th next week at 2 p.m. So make sure you sign up for us. Please join us. We're going to have a blast. We're trying to bring the hype back to webinars because they should be hype. So join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about a lot of great stuff and learn a lot of things in the meantime. We're also just 2 weeks away from last night.
Wow.
Right?
Let's go.
ASOTU Live tonight, coming to Arlington, Texas, April 5th, evening of April 5th. So if you're in the greater Dallas area, or if you can get to Dallas, it's easy to get to. Please join us. Tickets are on sale. You can get them at ASOTUX.com. We're releasing speakers little by little, have a few more to release, and we're bringing the band, we're bringing the fun, we're bringing the learning. We got some special swag, a unique step and repeat, and you know how we do it. So we hope you can join us. We hope to meet some new people in Arlington. Right. Yeah. That's why we're going to different cities.
We're going to meet a whole bunch of new people. That's what I'm calling. I mean, we're at least, just so you know, we're going to be in 3 dealerships, meeting a whole bunch of wonderful people. And that's always fun. Like I can spend all day in dealerships. It's just good times. So
it's a happy place. And we didn't talk about this a lot, but we're actually filming a TV show. That's why we're going to be at 3 dealerships the day before. It's this show, we're doing this little thing, and we'll be talking about it more first. But we want to have something in the can before we start talking about it. Too much.
We don't want to talk about that too much. You're just the early people. You get to know.
If you were here, you heard it first. Yesterday's winner in the Motor Madness was the Ford Bronco Raptor beat the Corvette, man. 13%. That's pretty strong.
That's strong.
You said yesterday you're not a Corvette guy. I mean, they're fun to drive for sure, but if I had to pick one, like I wanted in my garage, it would have been the Ford Bronco Raptor. Today's matchup is a classic matchup.
Chevy versus Ford again.
Old school this time.
Old school. The 63 Chevy Corvette.
Man.
Woo-hoo-hoo. And the 74 Mustang Fastback. Y'all, I don't even know what I would pick.
It's a very different
matchup. Game time decision.
The 63 Vet is so classic.
Right.
But the Mustang is so cool.
Fastback. It's going to be game time decision. I'm just going to have to hit one and go.
All right. Speaking of hitting one, going.
Yeah.
Segue.
Time. All right. Yesterday, Carvana announced a much smaller core loss than most expected, saying they're looking at a Q1 loss now of $50 to $100 million.
Ain't nothing.
Let's just contextualize this. A year earlier, right, the loss was $348 million. So it's more. It's more. That didn't suck as bad. So the announcement sent shares north almost 30% yesterday before, they kind of regulated throughout the day, came down, closing about 12% up still. And the company credited better than expected performance related to aggressive cost cutting that we've all been paying attention to and watching to. And they've been implementing those cost cuts really seriously over the last year. In a regulatory filing, Carvana estimates Q1 sales will be between 76 and 79,000 units. Last year, they sold 105,000 units, so they're definitely down about 25, 30%. But in the quarter just before this, it sold 86,000 units. So they're still selling a lot of cars. 76,000 is a lot of cars.
Yep. They're still running. Yeah.
You know, and they're saying the drop over last period to this period, high interest rates, hard to, you know, acquire inventory, lower lower ad expenses because of their, you know, focus on cost. So they still swinging, man.
It was interesting because what I saw is they were actually reading headlines when they made their excuses for where they're at. Is what they were like, and this headline, and this headline, and this.
Well,
headline.
I mean, it's like, well, this is I mean, everybody was kind of doing that all last year. Like, well, there's supply chain disruptions and labor shortages, which is why your burger came out so ridiculously late to your table.
This is why
eggs are so expensive.
Eggs are sold at a loss at grocery stores everywhere these days. There you go. Yeah,
I know.
Eggs and Carvana.
You know what we say, Kyle? Make waves or make excuses, right? That's what we say. Go. Yeah. So, I mean, look, I mean, Carvana definitely is still a player. Selling 80,000 cars is no joke. Used cars, you know, nonetheless.
And still a lot through auction blocks, a lot of purchasing behavior. They're not going away. And still a lot to learn from a dealer side on what Carvana is doing, the way they're learning. They're executing some very corporate high level strategies at this point to try and shift and become profitable again. And so I think it's a heads up move to just pay attention. You know, I think a lot of people kind of counted them out by March and they're still hanging in there. So that's kudos to their executive team for figuring out how to keep swinging and count less losses than Q1 of last year. So, you know, kudos to them. Like I wouldn't have seen it coming. I had them drawn out by March. So
I wasn't buying any Carvana stock. That's for sure.
That's fair.
Well, speaking of doing new things to sell cars.
Stop.
Segue.
Time.
All right, pay attention because this one applies to everybody, whether you're a dealer or an industry partner.
Yep.
And just you hear it. So more and more dealers and their employees are taking to, yes, TikTok to pull the curtain back on the buying process and letting some secrets out in the process. Now, you know, TikTok's not the only platform, but this was cool because it was in Business Insider. And I think when you get that broad outside automotive perspective on what people are doing inside automotive, it can help us get a little more context outside of our bubble to realize what consumers actually want to hear. So many of the most popular videos of these dealers or dealer employees in most cases using TikTok, the videos are discussing things like hidden fees. They're explaining how some dealers might use like scarcity tactics to sell cars. You know, they're even like talking about word tracks that dealers might use to pressure you into buying a car. So they're blowing up all the secrets, right? Here's a quote from one of them. Jessie Cannon Wallace, a salesperson at Mercedes-Benz Atlanta. We'll have to check her out when we go to Atlanta with the show. But she says TikTok has actually produced more sales, more calls, and more immediate business than any of the other channels I've used. She has 121,000 TikTok followers. Another one of these dealer employees, Tito Suave, is that his real name? A salesperson at Gettle Nissan in Sarasota, Florida. He's got over 500,000 TikTok followers, and he posts videos sharing word tracks that some dealers will use to try to pressure you into buying a car. I watched one. It was really funny. He's standing in front of like an Accord with a bumper falling off. And the guy holding the camera is giving him all the things. I don't know. I have to think about it. I got 5 more appointments on this car right now. You think 5 people are going to say no to this? And the car's there. It's all
real life. It's the real life version of the Badger. You know, it's like, hey, just here it is.
That's a great idea.
It's the real life version of the Badger. And I think this is what everybody wants, right? A few years back, we saw a big trend toward kind of behind the scenes at things like restaurants and all of the behind the scenes stuff that makes an auto such an interesting industry. So just peel back the curtain. That's what we're actually doing when we go to 3 dealerships in Arlington. We're peeling back the curtain.
Oh yeah.
Just start to peel back the curtain because people are interested in the how it's made, right? Make the modern how it's made. And
I like that.
We'll lean in. You know,
I like that. Yeah, man, the Badger commercials are so good.
They are good.
You're like, I don't know. We have to think about it. He's like, I'm going to sell it right out from under you. Won't be here. So yeah, no, that's fantastic. So check out the link in the show notes. You can go and check out some of these TikTok videos. But the cool part about these is anyone can do them.
Yep.
They are zero cost because everyone's got a phone and TikTok is still free as far as last time I checked. And
it's still around.
It's
may not be after today. but we'll
that's
see.
okay. Yeah, well, that's a whole different story. But the point is, what do consumers want to know? They want to know they can trust you, period. Yep. And if you talk about things that they want to know and be transparent and honest with them, guess what? They start to trust you. Ellie Lane just comments on the live stream and she says the TikTok bump is no joke. She posted a link here in the show notes. And you can go to LinkedIn and check the link out, whatever, or she posted in the comments. All right, we got one more, Kyle. This is close to your heart. Put this one in here because you just went to the Coke Museum. Here we go.
I love this one. So Coca-Cola has launched an AI platform called Create Real Magic, which combines OpenAI's GPT-4 and DALL-E. DALL-E is an image generation AI technologies that offers consumers in select markets across Coke branded elements for use in AI-powered art. The artists have the chance to submit work for digital billboards that could be featured in New York City and London. What's really cool about this is basically they've said, "Hey, look, we're going to democratize the brand. We're going to put it in the hands of people. We're going to allow people to get their hands on our advertising assets and then test and scale technology." And what I love, like the foresight of this is people are already doing it. They're just swimming in the river. They're going, all right, if you're already going to do this to all of the things that we have out on the internet, why don't we control and
channel it this way?
Channel it, use user-generated content for our own marketing efforts, align with what everybody's talking about, which is AI-generated content. I mean, it is like a mashup from, look, after just coming from going to the Coke Museum and recognizing what they've done over the years from a branding perspective and how they've leaned in different events and leaning into the colors and what they've assumed of culture. They're just assuming culture again and grounding it and allowing it to just like be a part of what they do.
It reminds me of something that our friend, music video director and crazy entrepreneur Darren Doan told us when we had the Troublemaker event in Vegas. And we got in there and we're podcasting and we're just taking all these communication methods that people see as normal and we're inviting people into them and we're like just doing it. He said, you know what you're doing? You're assuming the center of the conversation. And that is what Coke is doing here. They're taking all this public conversation and they're saying, you know what? Actually, this conversation, you didn't know it, but it revolves around Coca-Cola. And he's giving people a reason to do it. And it's giving them like a reward on the other side. It's not just engaged, like, hey, you know what? We're going to reward the people who do the best stuff. And you might be the one that says, hey, my billboard's in Times Square, New York, and it'll probably kick off a career or two. So kudos to Coke. And again, let's tie this back to the auto industry. What is going on in culture? How can you make your store, your people, your involvement in the community the center of the conversation? That's one of the things we're trying to do with the show and with the live events in Arlington. We're going to invite some people from outside automotive to be there too. And we need to show them that the center of retail is actually automotive. They just didn't realize it yet.
Yep. Peel back the curtain and assume the center.
Well, there you go. If that's not enough to keep you going on a Thursday, I don't know what it is. We gave you all that homework to do today. So get out there and just do one little thing, right? Just make one incremental improvement today. Make a video, serve someone in a different way. We'll see you tomorrow. Leave the